Everyone thinks alien contact began in Roswell. They're wrong. The year is 1938. A team of archaeologists, led by Professor Kai Pute, ventures deep into the remote Baian-Kara-Ula mountains on the border of Tibet and China. They're searching for ancient caves, forgotten histories, perhaps even a lost civilization. What they discover inside one particular cavern isn't a typical archaeological find. Not bones, not pottery, not even cave paintings of familiar animals. Instead, they unearth a series of graves containing unusually small skeletons, no more than 4 feet tall. And alongside these remains, buried for millennia, are hundreds of stone discs. Not just any discs, these are circular, with a precise hole in the center, and a peculiar spiral groove etching its way from the rim to the center, almost like an ancient record. These are the Dropa stones, and their existence, if true, challenges everything we think we know about humanity's past, and perhaps its future. Could these seemingly innocuous artifacts be evidence of extraterrestrial visitors? The official report of Kai Pute's discovery spoke of a previously unknown tribe whose history was etched into these stones. But the initial findings were met with skepticism, and the discs themselves, despite their unique appearance, were largely dismissed. Decades passed. The stones, along with their cryptic spiral inscriptions, sat in storage, largely unexamined. It wasn't until the early 1960s that a professor named Tsoom Nui from the Beijing Academy for Ancient Studies reportedly took an interest. According to the narrative that would later emerge, Professor Nui painstakingly deciphered the hieroglyph-like carvings on the discs. His conclusion was astonishing, claiming the stones told a story of alien contact millennia ago. The deciphered text, Nui claimed, recounted the crash landing of an extraterrestrial spacecraft in the Baian-Kara-Ula Mountains 12,000 years ago. The beings, called the Dropa, were unable to repair their ship and were stranded on Earth. The narrative continued. The local inhabitants, a primitive mountain tribe known as the Han, initially hunted the small-statured Dropa, fearing them. But over time, understanding grew and the Dropa eventually integrated, passing down their advanced knowledge. This incredible tale, published by Professor Nui, caused a stir, but not in the way one might expect. His findings were officially suppressed, and he was reportedly ridiculed by the academic establishment. The very idea was too outlandish. So where are these discs today? And where is Professor Tsoom Nui? The answers are as elusive as the origin of the Dropa themselves. The official narrative surrounding the stones becomes muddled, a tangled web of alleged sightings and denials. One account claims that in 1968, a Russian scientist named Vyacheslav Zaitsev wrote an article on the Dropa stones, asserting that they had been moved to an undisclosed museum in China. But concrete proof, photographs, or official statements remained scarce. Then came Ernst Wegener, an Austrian engineer, who allegedly photographed some of the discs in the Zeehan Museum in 1974. His photos, though grainy, showed discs bearing the distinct spiral grooves, a glimmer of tangible evidence. Wegener's account stated that the museum director, a woman named Wang Zhihong, confirmed the stones were indeed real and had a strange story, but she couldn't elaborate. She allegedly mentioned the stones were not important and would soon be removed. And just like that, they vanished. Subsequent attempts to locate the Dropa stones in the Zeehan Museum or any other museum in China proved fruitless. It's as if they were intentionally erased from the public record, swallowed by the sands of time. The skepticism surrounding the Dropa stones is understandable. There's a severe lack of official documentation, independent verification, and credible academic backing. Many of the key figures, like Professor Tsoom Nui, lack verifiable academic records. The very name Tsoom Nui sounds distinctly un-Chinese, leading some to believe it's a fabricated name, a pseudonym used to lend authority to a fictional narrative. This fuels the argument that the entire Dropa story is an elaborate hoax. The earliest accounts often surfaced in fringe publications and sensationalist books, rather than peer-reviewed scientific journals. This further erodes their credibility in the eyes of mainstream academia and skeptical investigators. But what about the small skeletons? If the discs are a hoax, how do we explain the unusual remains found in the caves? While no direct, independently verified scientific study exists, the initial reports did describe humanoids of unusually small stature. Could these simply be the remains of a pygmy tribe, perhaps a genetic anomaly, or even children? Without direct access to the remains for modern DNA analysis and forensic examination, it's impossible to say with certainty. The allure of the Dropa stones lies in their potential to answer one of humanity's oldest questions. Are we alone? The idea of an ancient alien crash landing, a forgotten history etched in stone, is undeniably captivating. Yet in the absence of verifiable evidence, the Dropa stones remain a compelling enigma. A whisper of possibility in the vast silence of our past. A story that demands more than just belief, it demands proof. Perhaps one day the stones will re-emerge, bringing with them a truth that reshapes our understanding of history. Until then, they serve as a powerful reminder of the mysteries still hidden in our world, waiting to be unearthed. The Dropa stones are a legend, a tantalizing what-if. But the questions they raise linger, echoing in the remote mountains of China, challenging our perceptions of who we are and where we truly come from. Explore another ancient enigma that defies explanation in our next video.